So today's price is going to be keeping prices current. I'd struggle with the title of this because, yeah, it is about keeping prices current, but it's also keeping the merchant profitable. There's also an aspect of that to this. So it's multiple aspects of this training that you'll be able to take to your merchants to help them be more profitable, to keep up with current inflation of their prices and the cost. So let's get into it. Changing menu prices is absolutely essential. The restaurant has to stay current on their menu prices in this inflationary market. Rising prices are a real problem, not just in the restaurant industry, but fuel is hitting us all in the back pocket. Food costs, groceries, food, not just for restaurants, even our own household food cost is going way up. And then labor costs are rising. All these things change on a regular basis. Some change weekly. So that restaurant who gets a food shipment, places a food order this week, when they receive it, the prices may have changed by the time they've placed that order to the time they receive it just a few days later. That restaurant has to then struggle with the idea, do I receive these goods because I need them right now, even though they're priced higher, and then suffer the loss, or do I go find another vendor, which may or may not save them that much money, because all vendors across the board are all raising their prices, which really it puts that restaurant in a very, very bad situation. What they probably end up doing most times is receiving the inventory, even though it's a higher cost than they were expecting, and it's a higher cost than your menu can suffer. That's a real issue. So price adjustments are an essential part of maintaining the profitability of the business, not just a restaurant, but any business. So they have to be, the business has to be able to adjust the prices according to the new cost that comes in. And that's a little bit of a challenge. So the reasons we hear from restaurants as to why they won't change, we have three that we most commonly hear. And the first is it's too difficult to change each item. So they may have 100 items or more, and they don't want to have to take the time to go to each individual item and make that change. They need a way to make broad changes on a global scale to make their life and job a lot easier. So the one of the number one reasons, the top reasons, is it's just too difficult to change each item individually. The next thing we hear is that customers might react negatively. So if you raise your price too much, is that customer going to go down the street to another location, another customer, another restaurant to then dine there? We'll get into that in a minute, but that is one of their fears, is that customers will react negatively. And then the number one reason we find, or we see that they are worried, is that it costs too much to print new menus. So we hear these top three reasons. Let's dive a little bit deeper into those. So too difficult to change each menu item. Well, if they had to go down one by one, I could see that. But the Aldelo Express module has a module for global price changes. We've talked about in prior classes and training how you can use this module to set up happy hours or individual price groups that change by time of day and day of the week. This is the ability to change down or up and then reverse back to the normal price. That's a happy hour thing. That's an entertainment hour. That's a ladies' night. It's different type things where you turn the pricing on and off. That same module, though, has a global price change feature that allows you to then change all items with the click of a button. You can change them by category or group, or individual items, or all. So there's already 4 different ways to change them. All items, by group, by category, and then by individual item. We'll show that here in a little while. But you can do that as a percentage or a dollar amount. You can change it up or down. So it's very easy to do, very easy. One click can take care of that. So let's eliminate the concept that it's too difficult to change, but by using the Aldelo Express global price change module. Next up, customers might react negatively. Now, this is a sign that was posted at a restaurant that please notice that our prices have changed. We needed to change to stay in business. Hope you all understand. That's a pretty dire message when you really get into it, that they're having to change prices just to stay in business. Let's hope we can get to them as consultants before it gets to that point. But diners are more understanding than the restaurateur might think, from the standpoint of they're living it too. They're being hit all over. Grocery prices are going up, fuel prices. People are watching the fuel prices like a ticker on a stock market, up and up and down, up and up and down. And they're playing that game of, when do I fill up? Do I fill up before the price goes up? Or is the price going to go down this weekend? They're playing that game, if you will, for pricing. So they're being hit as well. So they're going to be a lot more understanding than the restaurant probably thinks they are. But they all will appreciate the opportunity that's given with the cash discount. So we're going to get into how cash discount is going to play into this. But if you're going to raise the price of the restaurant menu price, then you also should look at cash discount. We're proposing that every restaurant should have a cash discount option on their menu, to then give that restaurateur, or to give the diner the benefit of paying with cash and saving a little bit there. Cost too much to print menus. Well, I went and looked, and what I'm finding is they're right. It does cost a lot to print new menus. It's anywhere from 50 cents to $2 each, based upon the volume. I looked at 100 menus. So if you have a 100-seat restaurant, you're going to need 100 menus, one for each one of those seats. Well, in that case, it's going to be about $2 a piece if you have a 11 by 14 folded in half. That's not that big a menu, but $2 a piece, yeah, it does. It does cost a lot. And then you throw in the fact that it's a 1 to 2 week turnaround. So that means that by the time you get that menu back from the printer, it's already outdated. The cost have probably already changed on those menu items. So it's time to do another menu change. So yeah, it does cost a lot to print menus, and they always need updating. They're never as current as your cost in the restaurant go. Cost of goods are going to change more often than you can change the menus. And then what if you want to delete an item or maybe add an item? It's very difficult to do with printed menus. You have to put in some kind of supplemental menu. Or what if you're running daily specials? Do you have menus for each day of the week? Probably not. You're probably going to do a supplemental that goes into the inside of that folded menu. So it is a job. It is difficult to maintain. So what we're proposing is that we eliminate the cost to print new menus by going contactless, going with the QR code menu. This is something that is standard with the Aldelo Express. It comes with the Mesa app that it is no charge to add on. So doing it electronically is the solution. You're finding more and more restaurants are going to this. They're going to this for multiple reasons. Let's start off with it's no cost to produce. It's part of the program. So there's no cost, additional cost to this module. It's no cost to update. When you add an item in the point of sale, it is added to the point of sale and the Mesa at the same time. When you change the price in the point of sale, it changes on the Mesa, which then changes on the e-menus. It's instant. There's no cost to update it. And then by that, there's no effort to maintain it. So what is in one is in the other. There are options in Mesa, so you can select certain items that you don't want to be on the menu. You can do that. But if you're going to do an e-menu instead of a printed menu, you're probably going to want them all. Just know there's no effort to maintain that. And it's always current. It's up to the instant. Whenever you make a change in one, it changes on the other. So there are no cost to update, no cost to produce. There's no cost involved at all. We've now eliminated the cost of menus as an objection to changing prices. They're more sanitary. How many of you go, you just can't go to a Mexican restaurant and open up a menu and not see somebody else's salsa dripped on the menu? It's just going to happen. That's a good reason to have these e-menus, is it's much more sanitary. One of the post-COVID results of the COVID is that people are very conscious about the contact between the prior use of that menu and the one that they're being presented. That is just one of the results of that pandemic. So take advantage of it. The contactless menus are a way to go, and it's the way a lot of restaurants are now producing their menus. It's easy to take away and keep. Mesa then stays on their browser, and they can not just, if they don't close the window, they can keep the Mesa app and just use it for pickup orders, online ordering, other aspects, maybe gift card and loyalty are all included with the Mesa. Just getting them to use the e-menu would be a good entry point for them. Daily specials and new items can easily be highlighted and be the first thing that comes up on the menu. So it's a really good way to bring in the daily specials, and you don't have to have a daily menu, printed daily menu. It just appears on their browser. And of course, Mesa Online ordering, gift card, loyalty will be automatically part of that once they bring the e-menu up on their browser. It's just part of it from then on. Let's take a look at and discuss some creative pricing. Move away from the 0.99 or 0.95 mentality. Get away from that mentality and go to whole dollars and then 25-cent increments. You could use 10-cent increments, but for our discussion here, I just went with the 25-cent increments. So get away from the 99 and the 95s. Get away from that totally. It's go to $10 instead of $9.95. And then it's easier to do a price increase. For instance, it's easier to go from $10 to $10.25 or from $10.25 to $10.50. Using those increments will not only ease the customer into it, it will not be such a shock as far as the price increase. They'll just accept that and move on. We're seeing a lot of restaurants do this now, and we're encouraging you as consultants to go and then encourage your merchants to do the same. Help them ease into this, which then helps them ease into the use of cash discounts. If you're going to increase the price of the menu because of a cost increase in your product, this is a perfect time now to have the cash discount as part of the program. Highlight it. Talk about it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't run from it. Use it to gain new customers and their confidence. So if it's a new menu with new pricing, this is a perfect time to implement the cash discount into the restaurant. Diners will love the opportunity to then save money during a price increase. That will help ease the pain, if you will, of a price increase. And then I have on here signage is going to help. Well, how about the server helping as well? To the server's advantage, let them sell the cash discount. Explain to the diner when you present the bill that, oh, by the way, you can save an additional 4%, 3% if you pay with cash. The diner will appreciate the opportunity that you're giving them to then save money with the price increase going on at the same time. So let's talk about your job. Your job as referral partners. You are to consult with your customers and teach them their options. Help that restaurant owner to understand how they can maintain current prices, or at least try to maintain that or get ahead of it. Help them understand how they can do that with the e-menu, and then help them understand how they can ease the pain by using cash discounts. Then you use the cash discount program to help you sell solutions to that merchant and to that restaurant. So continue, consult your merchants through these tough times, be there to help them, ease the pain, and help them maintain their profitability throughout these inflationary times. So what about questions? These e-menus can be broad, as in for the entire restaurant. So the QR code can be a restaurant as a whole, or it can be down to the table. So you can create a specific QR code just for that table. So there's different ways to do that. And yeah, you can laminate these, put them on little placards or stickers, if you will. All right, what I've done now is got the back office up. You'll notice I'm under products and I'm on to advanced pricing. Advanced pricing is where we've gone in before and shown you how you can do the different happy hours or other short-term price changes. This is where you set it up by day of the week, time of day, and then they fluctuate up or down based upon the settings that you have here. These can be for specific items, individual groups of items, and what have you. So it's the same module that we've shown before. We're just now going into the global price change tab here. This is where you can do all items in the restaurant. Every item in the menu can be done at one time. You have the option to come down and choose which price level that you can do, because as you know, there's the default price, but there's also prices levels for dine-in, takeout, delivery, those things. So you have up to 5 different additional price levels rather than just the default. And we'll get into why you do that here shortly. Then you can choose to increase or decrease by percentage or by dollar amount, and then you choose the amount here. So let's just do a little select group. So we're going to look at, there's a group is beers. If you hit research or search, it's going to select all beers. You have the option here to then select like a subcategory or smaller group, and then hit search. Now you see all the items are checked. That's all the items in the group. If you wish to, we have 5 pages. If you come here and deselect, then it turns them all to no. And then you can select the group that you would like to change. In this case, I am choosing these 3 items. And to the right, you'll notice that we have different prices. So the dine-in price obviously is for dine-in orders. The bar is going to be a different price. You'll notice that a lot of times the bar prices will include the tax. Dine-in is tax exclusive, meaning the tax is added on. So the price of the bar does not have to be the same price as dine-in. It can be more. Takeout does have an additional cost. You have the cost of the box or the container. So there is an additional cost to takeout. It should be more than dine-in, strictly on the fact that it does cost more. Drive-through, that's an option. It doesn't really have much more of a cost, but there could be a cost difference. But delivery for sure has a higher cost. Not only is there a container cost, but there's a labor cost involved. And then you have a delivery driver you're going to pay additional monies to, rather than a server or a cashier. So the price for delivery should even be higher than takeout, and takeout should be higher than dine-in. So in those cases, that's why we have those different price levels. And you should consult and you should teach your restaurant customer why they have the different prices. So let's move down. I've got these three selected. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose what price we're going to affect. In this case, we can choose dine-in, bar, takeout, individual prices like that, or you can just say all price levels. Are you going to increase by a percentage or a dollar amount? Well, let's just choose dollar amount. And now let's choose the amount. In this case, I'm going to choose, I've entered in 0.25. Perform price updates. And when I hit yes, all the prices have changed now by 25 cents. They've all increased by 25 cents across the board. That's how easy it is to do global price changes. It can be done by all items, a group of items, a category of items, or individual items. It does not take a lot of effort, and you see it's very simple to do. All right, any questions on that? Jet, anything else you want to add to it?
No, I think you did a great job.
Okay.
I think this is a great topic, considering how inflation is affecting our customers. This is a great thing to make sure everybody knows.
Yes, sir.